show for you this afternoon with Micah, Andrew Reeves, Stephen Krueger, and some guy named Joseph Krueger.
Oh, we got blankies.
It's very short.
Just wrap myself up like a little homeless lady. I refuse to wrap myself in a blanket. I'm tough.
I was trying to figure out like how they assemble. What's this? What's the hat set on? Classy, Joe. Classy.
Thank you. I wore it especially mother trucker.
I was trying to figure out. They never tell me how like what the logistics of who they put on what panel is, so I wasn't sure.
What the connections are?
Yeah, like how do these people know each other?
Not everybody was getting.
And I realized
you ripped my heart out.
Yeah, it's Klaus and his Sireline.
No, I called the. Oh yeah.
He was the first.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Micah was one of the OG, hybrids on the Vampire Diaries.
Yeah. That's right.
And poor Josh.
that bond, baby.
Poor Josh was just
What are we talking about? I think I missed the topic.
trying to be on a spring break. I'm just riffing.
It's why are we doing this panel together?
Oh, right. Because we're all cool.
Yes. The coolest.
Were you on the show? Prodigy. Yeah. Were you a musician? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why I'm here. Well, I did a panel with Ron Hope, and I didn't know who he was.
I love
Come to find out, I do know his music, but I didn't, but I was like in a panel, I'm like, as we're on the panel trying to figure out, was he an actor on the show?
Let's not let Micah tell any more stories.
I was signing autographs next to Ron Pope yesterday, and I was like, I'm such a big fan. I want to say. And one of the handlers was like, come here, I'll introduce you to him right now. And I literally panicked and ran away. So you guys impressed me very much with your ability to chat up these actors, because I just flip. Speaking of all of these, you lovely people, my favorite part of these weekends is hearing, it's so touching to hear about how these shows changed your life, or some of you saved your life, you say. And I was curious if you guys have a show, a film, an album, a song that you feel like changed your life. Oh, I got nothing.
You gotta think about it. But definitely Fight Club, the movie Fight Club changed my life. And Tarantino's stuff changed my life. That made me want to go into I wanted to go into writing, directing, and I thought, I'll do acting. That would be a good way to segue into writing, directing, and then just fell in love with acting. That and Liam Gallagher. I wanted to be Liam Gallagher so bad. I bought a tambourine and everything. Like I was all in.
Did you get tickets?
No, fuck no. Because I'm nervous to be in that crowd, but I want to go. I've seen them though. I mean, I saw them back in the day, but like.
I got tickets, but I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Do you think?
I feel like there's no way that they get through rehearsals.
They're gonna have a bus stop. They're gonna have a bus stop. Classic Gallagher.
Wait, what's the Fight Club? What's the Fight Club thing?
That I just let the movie. Yeah, I just saw it and I felt, I don't know, it was weird. I just felt like the movie spoke to me. I walked out of there and I felt it weirdly like empowered and kind of invincible, and it was just this partly like the story of the movie and how, about the things you own end up owning you and this whole thing, but then partly just like the style of it and everything about it I found inspiring.
Did you see that quote recently, that Brad Pitt quote? That's like, I don't know if it's been out for a long time, but I saw it recently. I'm not sure entirely why it's now come to the forefront, but when that movie premiered at, I think it was Venice or something like that, it premiered at a film festival, and it was almost universally panned. People walked out of the premiere. It was so unbelievably inappropriate, and it got booed. And I guess at the end of the film, Ed Norton and Brad Pitt were sitting there, and Brad just turned to Ed and he said, "I think that's the best film I'll ever be in." It's like as people were like walking out and booing it.
I had the exact same response with that movie.
You booed it and walked out?
No. In terms of the enamored with it, like I think it was one of the first movies I bought on DVD, and then when Blu-ray came out, I bought it again, and like watched all the special features and that sort of thing. And like The Matrix was another one that kind of hit me, just cinematic perfection. Like to me, like the sequels, you know, different basket, but yeah, that first one I watched like 3 times in the cinema, and actually just recently with Wicked. I have to say, if you haven't seen it in the cinemas, I'm going to spruik it now because I think everyone should. It may not be the content that everyone is like, you know, it's everyone's cup of tea.
I cried so much that there was no water left in my body for like a week.
Yeah, but it was just everyone in this industry at the absolute top of their craft. Like the sets were absolutely phenomenal. The costumes were phenomenal. The music.
I swear you just said the sets.
The sets?
Yeah, I was like, I had not seen Wicked, but I did not know it was that.
Oh, it was an animated special. You can see it online.
All I heard, I was like,
it's
damn.
rough animation, but
I don't know if you saw the right one.
But just the choreography, everything, the performances, like those two, I saw it in IMAX as well, and just the connection between the two of them, and the fact that they were singing live, and so many things, it just felt to me like the absolute pinnacle of our craft. So, yeah, that was another really reaffirming, like, I want to be doing this. Yeah, so but anyone who hasn't seen it, go and see it. It's amazing.
Nice. Yeah, I guess I would say the defining moment for me as an actor was The Dark Knight when that came out, and obviously, you know, there's the whole build-up of, you know, Heath had passed away, but watching the movie, it was like it took a little bit. It was so Heath was so unrecognizable in that character, I think, and I think it just struck me in a way of, you know, he left this legacy behind, and looking back on his career, it's so crazy that he was only 27. He did so many iconic roles, and he was in actually my favorite movie. Is the first thing I saw him in was The Patriot. Really nice, underrated, I think.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first rated R movie I saw in theaters, so you know, I kind of had that thing for me. And then I watched Braveheart, you know, so Heath Ledger was in that.
I thought you were going to say A Knight's Tale.
It also
Hey, that's fantastic. Don't look at Knight's Tale.
Really phenomenal work.
A Knight's Tale is going to be my answer. No, I'm kidding. I was a big Good Will Hunting fan back in the day. I don't know why. I think it was like such a silly premise. If you just like hear about it, like some genius like solves problems on chalkboards at MIT, like that's stupid. And then you watch.
You are not good at premises.
Yeah.
That's not how you would describe that movie.
It is. It's exactly what it is. But I don't know. There's something. I watched the movie time and time. It's one of everybody has that list of movies that like if you happen to come across it when you're like flipping through the channels. I know nobody flips through channels anymore, but I still do. And that's like definitely on my movies list that I will just stop whatever I'm doing and just finish the movie from whatever point it's at. Yeah.
We have Jeremy Connor is hanging out with us in the green room right now, and he's one of our stunt coordinators on the originals.
He was my stuntman as well.
Yeah, he was the Klaus double, he was the Damon double for a minute.
Don't talk about who else he doubled.
He was only Klaus's
I
double.
get envious. He was mine.
It's amazing that you guys can share the same stunt double.
Right?
I mean, Ian's probably very proud of that.
I was curious if you guys had a particularly memorable stunt, whether it's because it was super fun or whether it was because it was particularly brutal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot. Like I was talking about one earlier where they had me to jump on in the compound, the Micah compound. You know, it's 2 stories, and they asked me to jump off the second story, off the top of the railing, and land and punch Marcel as I landed. And I said, yeah, I'll do that. And then when I got up there, it was terrifying. It was a lot higher from up there. And you're on a little wire, and they only slow it down for the last little moment. So for most of the jump, you're just free falling. And so I did it in the end with a lot of coaxing and help from Jeremy. But if I watch the episode now, I can see that I'm afraid. I broke character. I can see, that's not Klaus up there.
Why is Klaus crying?
Did you almost break his nose too?
Oh God! so many times, but that's a different story.
Our final fight scene, very first shot of the day, doing a spinning elbow, you poor bastard. Like, I was okay, but like, first thing, just spin, crack. Like, and when we all stopped, you okay? Because everyone heard it. And then, they're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, is it swollen? No. Is it bleeding? No. All right, let's go. And as soon as we, all right, cameras rolling, sound speed, and action. Went to the hospital, just to be sure, went to the hospital and stuff and got the x-rays. So I'm there on the way to the hospital with ice packs either side. Get to the hospital, and the x-ray technicians are like, can we get a selfie? Blood all encrusted on my lip and everything. I'm like, and then my red cheeks are red from the ice packs. Like, yeah, sure, just don't post it. That final fight scene was super fun.
It was super fun.
Even the one smashing in the alley as well before, like where you did the flying thing onto the car.
Yeah, we did some cool fight stuff, definitely. Yeah, sorry about it.
I've got to get so much mileage out of that story.
It's just because earlier in the day you were like, I feel like I'm leaving with no good stories. And I was like, wait. Just wait.
Can something please happen in this last scene so I have a story to tell at conventions years from now?
I feel like the first time I really realized just how talented stunt people are was from the simplest thing of, and we've all done it on this stage, of getting your neck snapped.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's an actual thing that has to be practiced, and I was so bad at it. And it's because it requires a very specific order of events where it's the neck turns and then the body kind of turns and then it goes limp, and I just never really got the hang of it. I'd be like, and they're like, no, don't turn your whole body, just turn the neck, and take after take, and I'm like, can somebody else just do this for me? It never looked good, and then you watch a stunt person do it, and it's just perfect, and I'm like, did they go to school for this?
Dave Morzo had a master.
It was unbelievable. It's so fluid. It's just I could not believe it. I marveled at it. I'm like, do it one more time for me. I just want to watch.
Dave Morzo, the head of our stunt department, he was famous, we'd be on a tech scout, and he'd trip getting on the bus and fall in a way where you'd be like, what? I think he just died. And he did it every day, and every single day he got me. He'd just as he's walking, figure out some elaborate way to fall.
Yes, they make everything look
hit
real.
Somebody, and even it's not even a camera trick. My eyes believed him. Still did it to you last week.
Yeah, I know. I love Fall Guy. Did you see Fall Guy?
Oh, yeah.
It's great. It's just an ode to stunt people, and there was cast of all stunt people. It was awesome.
Did you have any?
Give them an Oscar.
I was a part of a really cool stunt when you were cutting everyone's head off, but I was dead the whole time.
One
Yeah, I did. I watched.
From the ground.
That is really cool. There was a hybrids flying through the air, and you were cutting their heads off midair. It was really.
They put it all to choral Christmas music.
Yeah.
And the finale of that was me drowning Tyler's mom in a fountain.
Yeah. Good. No, that was such a good sequence. It was so great.
Think about that every Christmas. Let's start getting you guys lined up for those of you that have questions. And speaking of Dave Morzo and Jeremy Connor, I wanted to mention that Krueger and I worked on we had a little bit of an originals reunion this week.
We did. Yes.
You want to talk about it?
Maybe
Or
you
should
should
we just
talk.
keep it private?
You should talk about it.
They're together. Good to see me.
Somebody say something.
Yeah, this week I directed and produced a short film for the first time, and it was. Thanks. Yeah, it's been 2 years in the making that I found this script and had Carina help me with it, and we finally got out there and shot it this week.
Starring Riley Vocal and Chris Lee.
Yeah, I got Riley and Chris to be in it, and it turned out to be so much bigger than I thought it was going to be, and it was by far, I think, the hardest thing that I've done in my career. And I think I'll be honest, I think the first time that I was interested in directing was watching this guy direct on the originals.
Because you were like, anybody can do this.
That's literally what it was. I was just like, oh, they just like let actors direct. I'm like, okay, well, sure, great. But no, it was cool. Like while we were doing the originals, you know, once we got into what was it, season 3 you did for the first time? Yeah, I mean, I watched Joe do it, I watched Gillies do it, I watched Charles do it, and I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool, and I think I could maybe do this. And I'm not sure that I would ever produce my own thing again because. Whoa.
That takes really, really talented people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Right here. But no, it was amazing, and I left with a whole new appreciation for the art of directing because it was very challenging and very fun.
Yeah, we had Roger Chingarian, who was our DP on the originals.
It's like the entire crew was from
Tony
Diaries
Griffin, who was
yeah.
Diaries AD. Yeah, we lucked out.
It was awesome.
Yeah. Okay, your turn, guys. Hi. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name's Carrie.
Hey, Carrie. Hi.
Y'all are all incredible. And I want to know, what was your favorite season to film?
3. 4.
Yeah. I think like I really liked 2.
No.
Come on.
Of which one?
Oh, originals.
Yeah.
I really like the original season 2 because I loved the whole Dahlia story. I loved how that played out, and we also we found our groove a little bit. We figured out the first AD thing, which we went through 17 in season 1, and a lot of different crew. But we had our crew, we had our little pack, our family of crew and actors, and so we were really starting to find the groove, by that point. But it was still fresh enough that we were all, excited.
That was Yusuf Gatewood and Daniel Sharman and Sonia, and we had a sort of our first group of really incredible guest stars coming in.
Really
Paul Waddell, Nathan Parsons. We really, I think, you are doing a CW show. We don't have a lot of money. We got these top tier actors, and it set the bar for future seasons and bringing in people who were just really added a lot to the show, I think. Because the series regulars were shit, so we really need
the support.
Little window dressing.
Yeah, prop us up, distract from our terrible performances.
But you see.
I think season 2 was very fun. I mean, we had so many people there. I really enjoyed season 1 because I was brand new to all of this, and it just I was waiting to be killed the entire time, and it just was like oh no, here's another episode, here's another episode. I was like, I don't know if they're gonna kill me.
Did you ever stop waiting to be killed?
No, the whole time I'm like, it's coming.
In the writer's room, if someone was out of the room for a day, we would make sure to put on the board somewhere Josh dies, so when they came back to the room, they'd be like, no! Wait! We were it was an internal battle to keep Josh alive.
Yeah. Well, you pulled it off. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Here you are, all these years later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello, my name's Amber. I was wondering, as actors, what were you thinking about when you had very emotional scenes where it's you might have almost crying, and what got you there as an actor to be able to have for the fans?
Menthol sticks were great.
Can you explain yourself to them?
Menthol sticks. Sometimes, sometimes. I mean, to be honest, I don't use them, but I've seen them used before by pretty much everyone on the stage, I think. All very talented people. But no, I mean, look, let's just break down the illusion here. Sometimes you have to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 takes in a row, and it's you might be super emotional and really in it and crying for the first few, and then by the last few, you're I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And so they have these really cool little devices that are just almost like a little menthol peppermint thing.
It's like an icy hot stick.
Yeah, it's like a little icy hot thing. You can just kind of put it on your eye, or sometimes they blow it in your eye. Yeah. And it's but you better roll the cameras real fast as soon as they do that, because it's almost instantaneous, right? It's just
So if you watch a show or a movie and they're crying and they're like this. Because it burns a lot, so it's like you have to try
Guys,
to
just
keep
ruining the magic out here for all these people.
It's all real. Everyone needs to know. Everyone needs to know.
I think it's like as well. It's like a muscle memory thing. So like you know like first like when you first trying to do a scene like that as actor, and you try to find triggers like music or something that takes you to the place emotionally, and then you know once you've done it for a long time, it's sort of almost like easier to go there because you know maybe physically or mentally you know how to get yourself there. It becomes kind of second nature, you know, and easier until you do it too much in series. As maybe I did looking back. Too much crying.
Dude, say that. Do you feel the same? Do you feel that too?
I feel like maybe I did too much
I
crying.
feel that all the time. I'm just like, God, why am I crying all the fucking time?
I think that was the way
So
that
annoying.
the forgive clouds for so many things. I'm like, oh, he feels bad about it because of course it's redeeming.
He's got a heart.
But yeah, I feel like the same with you, like music and those sorts of things can be helpful when you're trying to preset yourself to have that emotion bubbling before you go into a scene or whatever. But then really just buying into the imaginative circumstances and yeah, also you know scenes where I was crying and sometimes I'm getting whipped and things by this dude and like you know medieval France, like there's enough stimulus going on that you can really just react to that moment as well, as long as you've sort of you've got it sort of prepped there enough before, but as you said, like if you've done it enough, like you do kind of your body has a memory of where those feelings live and you can bring it out that way. If all else fails, then you're tapped out by the end of the day. And
That's a good process.
I'm too stubborn. Like I feel like the tears don't. Yeah, if you focus too much on the effect, like you have to have tears for this moment, then you're not living in it anymore. You're thinking about the effect and how you're coming across and that sort of thing. So you're not living the experience.
Yeah, I think it depends on the circumstances of the story too, and you know, because the risk is, yes, you know, okay, it says one tear falls here.
Ooh, nobody writes that.
As tears well up in their eyes, I mean, come on.
That's it.
Yeah. You're telling me what to do.
Not the single tear. Not the single tear.
No, but that's what we say as actors on the convention stage when we're telling a story. So, but you know that that's where you're supposed to get to, but also as an actor, you want to have an authentic experience. So you have to risk not getting there, you know, so that you can have that authentic experience on camera. You know, I think that's the scariest thing to do as an actor for me is to take that risk of maybe blowing a take or blowing the scene, but you have to step out into that unknown. And hopefully you've done enough preparation and work and building up the circumstances that it takes you and surprises you, you know, and then all of a sudden the emotions are there. And then you pull out the tear stick and then that's...
Charles and I used to have like competitions with each other at some point. It was just like, hey, check this. Yeah, it's like check this out. All right, it's the camera's on me. Watch this. Which eye you want it to come out of? How many drops you want?
Nice.
That's a great question. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My question is, was there anybody behind the scenes, like a costume director or hair and makeup person, who really had an impact on you?
Great question.
So many.
Wow.
But like definitely like Roger. Because like directing and the partnership collaboratively that he
He's
provided.
our DP, one of our DPs.
Our cinematographer, how like generous he was with his time and how much I learned from him in that field. But like everybody, like because as we said, by the end of 5 seasons on the show, really the people have fallen away as the years go on, but a huge core group of the crew stayed. And so we kind of became this huge family. So everybody was like, it's like you're in something together. You're going through it together, you know? And so a lot of those people, they meant a lot to us, I think.
I think also hair and makeup teams are so crucial because truly they're the ones that we interact with almost as much as anybody else.
Oh, Scott worked on the short film with us too. I was like, there's another one. Sorry.
Yeah. Scott Spencer Williams worked with us on the short. He worked on the originals. May he rest in peace, Mikey Mosher. I mean, they're the first people that we see when we show up to work, and not only I think as a hair and makeup artist you have to be talented and obviously good at what you do, but there's such an interpersonal thing about it where like you really have to recognize, you know, what space is the actor when they're first coming into work. Are they super out of it? Are they sleepy? Do they want to chat? Do they not want to chat? And just kind of like meet you where you are. And I think
all
that
through the day.
and all through the day. Yes, and they're touching your face all the time, and it's just like you really, yeah, it's a lot of very interpersonal reactions, and you know, I'm always grateful when we have good hair and makeup teams.
And no gossip. That's what used to drive me crazy on some other sets, where the hair and makeup, it can become a gossip factor. But ours were great. Ours were proper.
We were gossiping about you.
I was like,
we weren't doing it when you were there.
That's why I didn't like it.
Joe gossiped more than anybody on our set. There was always like, oh my god,
True.
did you hear what Phoebe did yesterday?
Yeah. I buy the water cooler. Guess what?
We had no choice but to gossip about Joe because he was like number one, very in the zone, wasn't coming out with us on the weekends because he was off doing some mysterious thing. So of course we're gonna make up what you're off doing.
Yeah, for me also Brandy, I can't believe I can't think of her last name right now, from Costumes, was almost like an emotional support human.
Set costumer, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's that thing, like they're the first, like the with hair and makeup, they're the first people you see in the day, and they sort of set you off at the right tone, so no matter how, like when you come in, they're setting you in the right space to go in, and with like any makeup and costume and all that sort of stuff, like it is such an extra element of the character, like, you know, you're building the character as well with those choices, with like what costume you wear and how they do your hair and makeup and all those sorts of things. Like it's all extra elements to convert you from like Andy to Lucian. You know, like it's those things that separate you from yourself, and the focus on the detail and stuff like that is always really appreciated. It's just there's so much that collaboration as well in creating who that person is going to be on film. Yeah.
Good question.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Gosh, it was so long ago. I truly don't.
I can still remember.
I was just going to say, generally speaking, it's makeup and hair. It's what you were saying. It's a tough job because they have to, like in between takes, particularly. You know, I know there's been times where I'm not sure. I don't know how this is going. And so the makeup person comes up and they just, I don't know, they can tell, they can sense that I need that affirmation. They go, let's go. Just that little, it just helps you, it just it lifts you up, So I think it's undervalued.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Hello. I'm very glad to be here, first of
You
all.
look so chic.
I love all of it, by the way. I'm very honored to be here. So, I'm sure you had a lot of fun times together on the set. Some bloopers, maybe some failed stunts. Did you guys have a diva on the set? And what are your pet peeves in general?
Oh,
Regarding
God.
on that?
Diva, did you say?
Don't go there. Don't go there.
It was me.
Oh, she was.
You got something in your...
What? I mean, we all know who the diva was on our set.
Yeah. Wait, why you?
Oh, sorry, I'm not actually. It's not you. I mean, it's maybe a little bit you, but no. I think it was our very handsome Marcel. He's gone, right? He's not here today. Okay, great. Yeah, it was definitely Charles. I mean, but I think you guys already knew that.
Like some of us, transitioned from the originals to the originals from other shows. And experienced different behavior on set shows and decided to try and raise the bar a little bit in terms of the behavior on set for the originals.
Wow, and shots fired.
I feel like we succeeded in that.
Vampire Diaries cast just catching strays out here.
Listen,
They had to put away mirrors on the Vampire Diaries set because Paul would take too long checking his hair. This is true. So our poor actors had to start with no mirrors.
Oh, we had no mirrors. When Trevino came and guest starred with us, he called makeup over and was like, "Let me see that mirror." I said, "No, we don't do that." He's not carrying me around.
It's a mirror-free set.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous.
Any show is as good as its number one, often in terms of the culture on set. And I have to say, this man was the best captain you could possibly ask for in terms of the level of professionalism he required from everybody just by his example. And it's like, the pet peeves are when people show up and they don't know, they're not prepared, so that means everyone's going to have an inferior product that day.
Do you know what my pet peeve is as well? And I only get it once or twice. Is an actor that likes to tell you what to do. So the coverage is on me this time. So for this take, could you just like really do this? You know? No.
Yeah, but I was right, wasn't I? It turned out amazing. Sorry, I'm not sorry. You're welcome.
He never did that. He was terrific. But yeah.
Can you give me something on this? Give me something to work with.
Yeah, well, like if you could come in like this, and then you got to really grab me because I'm going to try and walk around. Oh, I'm just going to do what I do, and then you react to it, and I'll react. How about that?
Let's continue on that way. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll say we really like the show looks beautiful but we really did it on not a lot of money and not a lot of time, and genuinely like it wouldn't have worked if people were being jerks. Like that stuff takes up a bunch of your time, and every hour that somebody's spending not coming out of their trailer or whatever, like it's work and time and money that doesn't show up on screen. So it wouldn't have been good if anybody had. It was a little bit more like we were all in the trenches together, and we were cold, and we were tired, and some of us were covered in fake blood, and you just kind of had to get through it and support each other through it. So I think that I've worked on shows with divas, not this one.
I remember one time did Daniel Sharman that whole shit. We were doing a scene at the very end of the day, and they did his coverage first, and then they were gonna turn around on me, and he was like, "Hey man, do you mind if I leave and like just have somebody read the lines with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do mind." So I'm like, "Stick around." So he stuck around, but in between when we were turning the cameras around, he went and changed out of his wardrobe, just like had on his street clothes, and was just like standing there next to the camera, like.
I remember this.
Literally, and I was like, "Dude, you little piece of shit." I'm like, I hope next time we're starting on me, you're gonna get the same treatment.
And then we called the thing of Zalik the next day. Thank you for your question.
Of course, I love you guys, and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hello.
My question is, what drew you to your character when you first read the script?
Money. I was woefully unemployed. And I thought, yeah, I'd like to play a vampire. I love vampires. No, I genuinely did grow up loving vampire stories and vampire films, but it's not a joke. As an actor, it's funny you hear that question. What drew you to the character of Josh? What drew you to Klaus? And honestly, as actors, especially when we're starting out, we're just trying to get a gig. We're just trying to get a job. And so like that was obviously the main thing, the main exciting thing. But I had no idea how popular the show was and how successful it was until I became part of it, and then just rode on Ian and Paul's coattails for a while.
Well, there was a moment where they said, "Do you want your own show to keep playing this guy?" And like, if at that point, if you hated it, like that's something that drove you forward.
Because when I joined, I was going to die at the end of the season 3 of Vampire Diaries, and I remember going to Julie and going, "Hey, I'd really like to stay." And she went, "Oh, we spoke to the studio, they said you were never going to die. Like they've already said." And I was like, "Okay." But the originals really came about because of the fans. There was fan-made trailers online before it was ever a thing, right? The fans named it the originals. Like it was already on YouTube with trailers they put together, and so it was exciting to sort of see that. And then for Claire and I went to dinner and talked like we're going to go to Julie and we're going to ask her if it could be a show. But then we were trying to figure out how to do it, and a week later the call came in and we got the offer from them like to do the show. And so that was an incredibly exciting moment. And of course we were like, I was all in on that idea. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd say that still, even though like I completely agree with that thing of like, yeah, we don't really get much of a choice whether we do get hired or don't get hired, obviously, but you do have to find that thing that you hook into whenever you go for that audition, like try and find that thing you relate to, whatever. But yeah, this was my first ever bad guy, and also to get to play a vampire who's been around for 1,000 years and trying to think about all the different things that they would have been through and all the like multifacets of their character and stuff. That is super exciting. Plus being super powered is awesome. Like getting to have like super strength and speed and getting to mess around in that world, like and just what that would do to you having those abilities and stuff. Like it's a very fun world to play in, this like whole fantasy sort of realm.
Do you remember when like when we went really fast across the screen, and then you're over there, and then we got it vamping. Yeah, like he vamps from here to there. And
Freeze, vamp.
Yeah, what they do is freeze, and then they go and vamp, and you do this, and then
It seems so stupid in the moment.
do that. But that's there's a season where they said we're going to change how we do it, and from now when you vamp, you're going to do it like this. But they couldn't keep it up because we just kept cracking up.
Here's why. It was because when we were in a wide and you guys vamped, it looked so stupid.
Because you see the
Your little feet are going So we were trying different ways to solve that problem, and eventually we're like, we're punching him closer. We're going to do him in the cowboy.
That's awesome. I didn't know anything about my character when I auditioned because, so a lot of times when you are guest starring on a show, you'll get, especially a show that's very popular,
We wrote fake sides.
you get fake sides.
You wrote a lot of them, right? You wrote a lot of them.
When I was the writer's assistant, I was writing all the dummy sides.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
so
fun.
my
I still use those sometimes to cast people. Those same ones.
I wish my fake sides were in the show. It was an amazing,
I know.
amazing scene with Lucian and Elijah.
I know, it
Jess.
actually is the worst. You like read these
Jess,
sides and you're like, this scene is awesome. And
This
then
scene
you
was
get
so
there.
good. It was like-
Yeah, I showed up, I was like, so when's my scene with Ian?
Yeah.
It was actually
It's not happening.
It was actually
But
the
I
scene I
auditioned.
used to base my relationship with Elijah on. Like that chess match was how I went, okay, this is how Elijah and he see each other. And he was like the same. So, yeah, sorry, back to you. Didn't mean to interrupt, I just wanted to get that out.
Yeah, so you get these dummy sides, and like you said, they're sort of in the realm of what the essence of the character is. And when you show up and you find out you're going to die, and that's beautiful. But yeah, it was for me. This was the very first show I was ever on. I was 23 years old, very young and green, and so
Impressionable.
yeah, Michael Trevino ruined me. No, I came into such an amazing family. I don't know how or why I'm still so blessed to be here on the stage, but I am, and I think it's it's a testament to you
I
guys
do.
and you.
It's because you're nice. It's because people
Thanks.
want to spend time with you.
You're so
I'm not kidding. There's something,
love
you can be a great actor, and if people don't want to be around you, you're not coming to this thing 20 years later,
12 years later.
Wow, maybe not that nice after all.
Sorry,
You-
don't do
this
that.
this is a pretty incredible family. So yeah.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Cute. Hi
I
guys.
gotta move faster so we can try to get through the line.
Really digressing. All
I
right.
don't want to, yeah.
Quick answers.
Be smart, guys. Hi.
Hi. So what was your most memorable moment when filming?
The very last scene that we shot, where Elijah and I killed each other in New Orleans Square, because it was the last scene of the show and the last scene that we shot, and then everybody just left, and we were sort of left alone. One Persian was there as well, so the three of us just stood in Jackson Square, and everyone had kind of gone and abandoned us. It was like, the dream is over. But it was just very emotional and meaningful to me because of the journey it took to get there.
You have to say the same thing my death day. When he cut my face open and tore my heart out.
We celebrate it every year. Happy Death Day.
Happy Death Day, Lucian.
Yeah, but it was that thing because it also just happened to be my last day filming. So it was, but so much that so many of the cast were there. as well. So it was wonderful. Like, I actually got to say goodbye to people in person. Because often you just sort of fade off. You're like, oh, his last day was Thursday. Oh, okay, well, bye. You know, so it was. Yeah, it was really, really special moment. The other time was him directing, Joe directing my thing, right? You're an amazing director. But it was also the first time I'd been in a fight scene on camera, and the first time I'd seen snow falling from the sky. So, like an Australian, we don't get it very often, okay? So, but yeah, it was super special for me. Like, he was directing, it was my episode of Becoming the Beast, and first time doing a fight scene on camera was, that was a magic day. Yeah.
All right, my last day too, I'll make it easy. Go. Last day, everyone's last.
First day.
Hey, there we go.
Breaking the sire bond. Baptism by fire that day. It was great.
Yeah. Thank you.
I kind of want to answer this one too.
Oh yeah, get it.
Oh, now we've got time.
I'm gonna be quick. I'm about to say something very nice about you. Joe and I were friends before I joined the originals because I'd met him on Vampire Diaries, and I came to the originals and had never written on TV before, and my first episode was Kieran's funeral, and we did a second line funeral the very first day of the episode. We were doing a second line funeral. I remember Elijah and Klaus in their suits, and Haley and her pregnant belly walking through, the French Quarter, and it was such a big production that day. And I had never heard my words spoken out loud on screen before, and I was so nervous, and didn't know where to sit, didn't know if I was allowed to sit in the chair that said writer on it, and Joe and Phoebe specifically, like, really made me feel like welcome, and showed me ropes, and also you guys said very nice things about the script that day, and I was terrified. And that's my most memorable, I think.
That was really sweet. Thank you.
See?
Be nice.
I feel terrible.
I'm so powerful.
Hi. This question is actually for my daughter. She's going to school for film. And so I was just looking to see if anybody has advice, tips on getting into it. Like, I know Carina, I was kind of looking for a panel that you were going to be on specifically, and I'm curious hearing about Josh doing his new solo personal production that you were just talking about.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to.
I mean, first of all, she's doing the best thing by going to school for film.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
that's,
sure.
First of all, she's on the right track, right?
So the film that Krueger and I just worked on, he actually found the script from a student at UVA, his alma mater. The only answer really is look for every single opportunity to create something, because the thing that you create might just end up in the right hands or the wrong hands, and then Steven Krueger gets it.
She will regret it forever day since. I think also I remember, I'm sure you guys did as well, but when I was first starting out, it was always relationships. You have to meet people. You have to establish relationships. And the way that people seem to want to do that was to go to bars and go to parties and go to clubs and I'm gonna go meet this producer. And I always in the back of my mind was to what end? What are you gonna strike up a conversation with a producer at a party and get a job from it? The relationships, in my opinion, come from the work that you do. So get a job, be awesome at your job, and also be pleasant to work with. And all of the people that are up here have done that very, very well, and that leads to other things because people say, oh, I'm doing this new thing, and I really liked working with that person, and I want to work with them again. And that is really, truly how you build a career in this industry, I think.
Everything good in Steven Krueger's life is because the writers on the originals liked him.
That's not a joke.
No,
that literally is. I have my entire career essentially because the writers from the originals have continued to want to work with me.
And your girlfriend.
And my girlfriend. Exactly.
It really is being nice to people and looking for every tiny opportunity. The smallest thing can get your foot in the door.
Yeah, just create as much as possible. And don't, especially just starting out, don't let perfect be the enemy of good and done.
Good.
Just work and do the work and put it down and move to the next thing. And through that journey, you strengthen your skills and then you meet people along the way. And
Thank you.
Thank you. And if anybody wants to give her a foot in the door, we'd be
Two more questions. One more question. Hi, you're very sparkly.
We're chatting.
Hi, my name is Lily, and since I started studying directing next year, my question is, what are some challenges for you when it comes to building a scene?
Time. You're always up against the clock.
Yeah.
So it's always like, we've got to get these amount of shots at this time, and everything takes longer than you think. So you have to learn how to economize and think, okay, what am I prepared to use? Sometimes you have to adapt your plan. You have to go with a plan, but then you have to be able to adapt it in the moment to think, okay, how can I do this in less time, with less shots, in a way that is more concise, but will still tell the story really well. And sometimes really beautiful creative stuff comes out of that because you're forced to improvise in the moment, right?
Yeah. Were you asking as an actor or as a director?
You can answer both.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, they're both maybe the same. I think you have to put a lot of trust in the people that are around you. You cannot do everything on your own, and you have to trust that the people that you have around you that are there to help you and to make things go smoothly, that they are good at their jobs. And if you don't, that's when you really get into trouble.
I think time, yeah, you have to be flexible, and you have to, as an actor, you have to react, when he wants to come and pull your arm like this, and you have to be in the moment and be reactive, in the same thing when you're on the filmmaking side. And the more flexible you are, the more open you are to the possibilities of greatness, and that's, like Joseph said, that's when the good things come.
Yeah, it can sometimes end up in a process of distillation where you're like, okay, we don't have time to do that, but how can we still, as you said, like still tell the story in less shots or get it done? Like, yeah, being flexible, have your ideas, have your plan, but also be ready to abandon it and listen to those around you.
Yeah, like what you said, hire good people and then trust them to do their job.
It's that.
Don't forget the inserts.
It's that last thing.
Yeah.
I'm not a director, but I do hire directors, and I think that the adaptability, knowing what you want, but being able to change it on a dime, and also really honoring the team that's around you, like rather than bossing them around, sort of, which is part of your job as a director, but also recognizing that they're good at what they do and that you can only do so much. Your first AD is your best friend, because everything that they've just said up here about time, your first AD is the person that can keep things moving and prioritize with you, and that's, I think, the most important thing. Adaptability and trusting the people around you.
Yeah.
Stay calm.
Good luck.
Okay, they're telling me we're done, guys. I'm really sorry. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Good to see you.